Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this 3-part replay. TeamEG having to deal with this Mutalisk harass right now. There are no real units being produced. Thor's perhaps going to be joining this army and trying to fight back against those Mutalisks. Thor's would be a very strong unit at this stage in the game. A lot of turrets around the map. 4 turrets sitting in this position. So 4 turrets going to be able to push back here. 3 turrets sitting back over here. Mule getting called down and those Mutalisks being forced to run back away. Those 3 Mutalisks not going to be able to focus down any of these turrets. Turrets dealing 14 damage per round against those Mutalisks. So the turrets are a better deterrent against Mutalisks than in the original StarCraft 1. As the original StarCraft 1 only did 10 damage against Mutalisks as it was an explosive damage. Hellions now moving out. Hellions trying to keep track of any expansions perhaps. Layer finally under full production over here. I do not see any Queens at this stage in the game. Taking a look at the work or the income count, it is 37 harvesters compared to 36, so KHB is really much well back in this. Mutalisk continuing to harass, trying to deal as much damage as possible. Gonna lose those Mutalisks if he's not careful. One Mutalisk down to 27 hit points, and that Mutalisk will be forced to pull back away. Now we have a single Thor joining the army, so Thor is now being brought into play. So TeamEG with that Thor does in fact deal a lot of damage to air units. 16 times 4 with a range of 10. So those javelin missiles on that Thor make it a perfect counter in order to take down those air units. He does not want to reveal those Thors at this time, even though there is in fact a single Overlord sitting in this position. I believe TeamEG should be able to see it. So taking a look at this, no, TeamEG cannot see it. There are in fact a couple of observers in this game. Now going to go ahead and bring it back to everyone's point of view. Large number of 3 Hellions sitting over here, making sure that no one gets any additional expansions either. Marauders, a couple Marauders down in this position. Perhaps those Marauders being used just in case KHB decides to go roaches. And now, we have Infestors, so mass Infestors. Taking a look at this, we have 6 Infestors. Looking at the abilities, there is 25 energy to spawn an infested terror in that last 25 seconds. Nero Parasite, it's a channeled ability that lets you mind control a unit. And then we have Fungal Growth that causes 36 damage over 8 seconds. Cloaked and burrowed units are revealed for a short period of time, so that's a good way to reveal any cloaked units. These Infestors do not have a base attack, but they do in fact have burrows, so we'll see how this is used, as KHB may be trying to use that fungal growth as a counter toward, or trying to use it similar to how a player would use Psystorm. Hellions now moving around. Hellions are not going to be a good counter towards those Infestors, as those Infestors are armored, biological, and psionic units. Quickly getting taken down, that Hellion getting taken down. I'm not sure if he was able to spot any of those Infestors. That Infestor army needs to be pretty much well hidden. A Spire getting taken down. How was the Spire taken down earlier? So I missed that. My apologies. Perhaps Hellions were able to come in, or perhaps Marauders getting into this position, able to shoot it down. Taking a look, we also have the Corruptors in the air. So Corruptors in the air, and we are now at Hive Tech. So Hive Tech, and now, the Spire is turning into a Greater Spire, So the Spire is currently upgrading to Greater Spire. And these Impaler Tentacles, or these Corruptors, will most likely be turning into Broodlords in just a moment. Taking a look at this, Zerglings trying to take down these destructible rocks over here. That will take some time, as those Zerglings in fact deal very little damage. Only 2 damage a hit, I believe, because it is in fact 3 armor on those destructible rocks. Taking a look at the army sizes, KHB is in a much more turtled position. TeamEG, on the other hand, has a much larger army, but I believe he thinks that if he tries to throw everything that he has, he will in fact be on the very losing end. Ravens now being brought into production. Taking a look at this, do we have a fusion core? TeamEG also getting that infantry upgrade as well. Taking a look, I do not think, do we have a fusion core? And another barracks being brought into play. I do not see a fusion core yet. Taking a look at the production map, Ravens being built, and now we have Broodlords being made as well. So those Broodlords are going to be shooting those broodlings as well. Spine crawlers getting in position as well, and more creep tumors being built out. So KHB spawning creep tumors all across the map in order to increase the movement speed of all those units. Zerglings almost taking down these destructible rocks. On the other hand, over here we have a large number of Thors. What is this? 4 Thors, 1 full control group of Marines, 2 Hellions, and a couple Marauders. taking on this position over here. TeamEG perhaps should start producing some SCVs, or is he just going to transfer from his main? There are too many SCVs mining from this location. He only needs perhaps a couple, and there he goes. He's going to go ahead and transfer those over. Is he going to turn this? He is now in fact going to turn that into a planetary fortress, trying to use that as defense. And here we have those infestors. Those infestors are burrowed. They in fact cannot cast that ability, but they can in fact move. Can they move while burrowed? It looked like they were moving while burrowed, and now going to quickly take down the missile turret. So one missile turret getting taken down. Infestors now moving out as well, and units moving around. We have a Ravens in the air, does not have that Hunter Seeker missile, and those infestors trying to just shoot those broodlings. And wow, very, very nice fungal growth causing that damage over time on those Marines. Those Marines all taking a lot of damage. Ravens getting mind controlled and now getting fungal growth as well. So they are taking that damage over time and getting mind controlled and now getting pulled back once again. Now dropping those auto turrets. Turrets now starting to fire back, trying to take down some of these units. And now, what is this? More mind controlled. So some of these Thors are just shooting back against each other and shooting down these units. So Infestors using that mind control ability and shooting down each other's Thors. So a very, very nice play by KHB. Taking a look at the army right now. KHB with a much larger army and just dealing a lot of damage. Perhaps KHB can try to use that mind control ability as well again on those medevacs to try to heal up some of those units. Down go those broodlords. Broodlords are going to get taken down. No, those broodlings were able to finish it off, and now 3 broodlings up in the air. Marines with Stimpack trying to focus down those broodlords. Couple broodlords still up in the air. Down to 8 hit points, 6 hit points, and able to survive with 6 hit points. Coming back over here, we have a couple of Ravens, but those Ravens are all pretty much very low on energy. Orbital command needs to perhaps starting to be repaired. Vikings now up in the air trying to fight back against that Corruptor. Auto turret should probably be dropped into position in order to try to fight back against the rest of these Infestors. Infestors now mind controlling, not mind controlling, neuroparasiting the rest of those units as that Viking is turning on his own units. Once again, that Viking up in the air, and now fungal growth cast on that Viking. Viking gonna get destroyed by that fungal growth. Queen getting taken down, but this fight as it continues, more fungal growth, more damage over time on these units, and those Marines just getting destroyed right there. Vikings continuing to fight. Broodlords, SCVs trying to repair this position, and just mass infestors. Mass infestors are a very, very good counter apparently towards human or towards Terran players, as there's not much that you can really do. All these infestors, the neuroparasite ability only costs 50 energy, so that 50 energy is enough to really push this back right there. And the Raven now dropping some auto turrets, so those auto turrets shooting back. And after that mind control, that auto turret still stays in the control of KHB. So now going to lose that last Raven over there. So Raven now getting taken down. Going to try to focus down that last Viking. So more Vikings up in the air trying to shoot back against these Corruptors. The Corruptors are not a good counter to these Vikings. Vikings deal damage bonus to armored units, while the Corruptors only deal damage to massive units. These medevacs are going to get, in fact, taken down by the rest of these units over here. So down goes one medevac, another medevac being left behind. Broodlord cocoon, more Broodlords being produced. Marines and Hellions trying to fight back, and still somehow TeamEG able to hold on to this particular expansion right over here. KHB is only mining from 2 locations. Economically, who can really win out on this fight? This fight is pretty even. Taking a look at the army unit overlay over here, 32 to 38. Broodlords continuing to fight. Vikings still trying to fight back against these Corruptors. The Vikings should be able to in fact win. And now just a couple Corruptors against a couple Broodlords, and the Broodlords are in fact massive. Just in case anyone was questioning that. And those Broodlords now getting focused down by that last Viking. Viking once again getting mind controlled with that weird tether, infested tether ability. Starports now with no reactor core, so unable to really mass produce any units. SCV is desperately trying to keep up this single orbital command. Infestor still moving in, and now we have a couple of Zerglings moving in as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say stay tuned for part 3 and the conclusion of this replay between KHB and TeamEG here on Steps of War.